Mr. Sergeant of Arms, invite the members into the chamber, close the doors. I hereby declare the House of Representatives of the 114th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee now in session. Will the members please stand? Will the visitors in the gallery please stand and remain standing through the Pledge of Allegiance? Representative Zachary will serve as chaplain of the day. Representative Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, let's pray. Father God, Lord, we love you. Thank you for a new day, Lord. God, each and every day we're reminded of your goodness, Lord, and the new day that you give us. Thank you for the opportunity, the incredible opportunity and honor we get to serve the people of our communities, the people of our state with the work that we do here. Lord, we pray that you give us wisdom, give us discernment, give us patience, guidance, direction, Lord, as we finish strong, as we pass a budget, as we finish these last few bills. Lord, guide and direct everything that we do. Lord, and I pray that we would be mindful of our interactions with each other, Lord, as we come toward the end. And we just ask that you guide us and direct us, Lord. I pray for your blessing over the rest of this day, blessing over our proceedings, Lord. And I pray that you continue to bless our great state. We're so thankful for it. We love you. Thank you for Jesus. Thank you for the weekend ahead, Lord, and the resurrection of your Son, the resurrection of Jesus, Lord, that gives us life. And Lord, we're thankful for you. Thank you for the goodness of your mercy. In your name, amen.
Representative Zachary, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Roll call.
Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Speaker, 90 members present.
Let the journal reflect Representatives Davis, Doggett, Leatherwood are excused. Next order, Ms. Clerk.
Welcoming, honoring, and announcements.
Welcome on announcements. We have two presentations. Representative Kiesling, you're recognized in the well.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request that the Sergeant of Arms escort our guest into the chamber.
Mr. Sergeant of Arms, please escort the guest to the well. Representative Kiesling, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and members, today is one of the best parts of our job in representing both the 38th and 41st House districts as well as Senate District 12. We often debate policy, budgets, and tough issues, but today we get to recognize excellence. Senator Yeager, Representative Butler, and I are pleased to present a House Joint Resolution 1093 honoring two outstanding young men from our districts, Max Moody and Rex Reagan of Pickett and Overton counties. And Mr. Speaker, I have failed to ask the clerk to read the resolution. Would I be out of order if we did that now? I'm really embarrassed.
Mr. Clerk, please read the resolution.
House Joint Resolution 1093 by Kiesling, a resolution to honor Max Moody and Rex Reagan on winning two consecutive Strike King Bassmaster National Championship. Whereas we are pleased to especially honor and commend those successful young anglers who, through their magnificent exploits, bring honor to Tennessee and serve as exceptional ambassadors of this state. And whereas Max Moody and Rex Reagan of Pickett County High School recently won their second consecutive Strike King Bassmaster National Championship. And whereas in summer of 2024, Max Moody and Rex Reagan competed on Lake Chickamauga in the Strike King Bassmaster National Championship. And during that tournament, they set a Bassmaster 3-fish limit record with a weight of 21 pounds and 5 ounces. And whereas posting a 3-day total of 43 pounds and 3 ounces, Mr. Moody and Mr. Reagan won their first national title as freshmen. And whereas competing on Clarks Hill Reservoir, Georgia, as sophomores in 2025, the dynamic duo from Pickett County won their second consecutive Strike King Bassmaster National Championship by posting a 3-day total of 36 pounds and 11 ounces. And whereas Mr. Moody and Mr. Reagan have brought great honor to their school as their consecutive championships have distinguished Pickett County as only the second high school in the nation with multiple national titles. And whereas Max and Rex's championship season would not have been possible without the leadership, guidance, and instruction of their coach, Anthony Scott. And whereas these young men's noteworthy achievements, both on and off the water, are a tremendous source of pride for their families, their classmates at Pickett County High School, and the entire community. And whereas Max Moody and Rex Reagan have displayed uncommon talent, determination, and perseverance in their quest for excellence, and it is wholly fitting that they should be recognized for their accomplishments. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 114th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, the Senate concurring, that we honor and congratulate Max Moody and Rex Reagan of Pickett County High School on winning 2 consecutive Strike King Bassmaster National Championships, and extend to them our best wishes for continuing success in all their future endeavors.
Representative Kiesling, you're recognized.
Members, these students have accomplished something truly remarkable. Back-to-back national championships in one of the most competitive student fishing circuits in the nation, the Strike King Bassmaster National Championship. They competed in 24 as a team in their freshman year at Lake Chickamauga, and not only won, they set the Bassmaster 3 finish limit record with a weight of over 21 pounds, and not to mention that their 3-day total was over 43 pounds. Winning 1 national championship, of course, is impressive, but winning 2 in a row speaks something deeper. Then Max and Rex this past year, 25, traveled to Clarks Hill Reservoir in Georgia as sophomores and won their 2nd consecutive Strike King Bassmaster. It shows discipline, preparation, and the ability to perform under pressure. That's not luck, is it? That's work ethic. Max and Rex represent Tennessee values extremely well. In Tennessee, we take pride in our outdoors, our lakes, our rivers, and the traditions passed down through generations. From their home waters of beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, which, by the way, is a Bill Dance signature lake, I might add, to the natural beauty of Big South Fork National River and Rec area, our House and Senate districts help shape not only great anglers, but great young men and women. Do I get an amen from over Senator Yeager's way? Amen, says. These young men we have today represent that tradition at the highest level. Success like this comes from early mornings, long days, and a commitment to getting better. They represent their families, their schools, and their communities with the utmost integrity. Members, these are exactly the kind of young people that we want to recognize not only today in this Tennessee House chamber, but throughout the state and the nation. We're proud of you two, gentlemen. We're grateful to you and how you represent Tennessee, and we look forward to your continued success in future competitions and in life. Now, allow us quickly, and we're about to finish, allow us now to recognize some of the people who helped mold these guys into the men that they are today. We're honored to have their coach, Anthony Scott, as well as their parents, Emily and Stacy Moody, and Tim and Leslie Reagan. And now let's cast a line up that way, up to the gallery to recognize more of their family members and supporters. Would you all please stand and let us give you a welcome to them? Thank you. At this juncture, please allow me to recognize Representative Butler and Senator Yeager, and then we'll move on to Coach quickly to Coach Anthony Scott. Senator Yeager.
Behind me, members, are 2 good reasons why I'm optimistic about the state of Tennessee and these great United States of America. These 2 gentlemen behind me exhibited great skill in order to achieve the honors that we're celebrating today with them. And it's more than just luck. It happens to be patience, skill, knowing what to do and when to do it, life skills that will carry them through into positions of leadership, I hope. I'm just glad that you allow me to be a part of this. These constituents of mine from beautiful Pickett County, the home of Dale Hollow Lake, come up and I'll take you on a boat ride up there. Well, Kelly will anyway. Thank you very much for having me, and congratulations for a job well done.
Representative Butler.
Thank you, Representative Kiesling, for recognizing me. I do want to congratulate these 2 young men on such an accomplishment. I've never been much of a fisherman and always preferred going catching instead of fishing. My colleague out here from Putnam County, this big fisherman. But I want to wish these a congratulations. And this is a very big honor to win 2 national championships. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Butler. We're also pleased and honored to have, to my right, to your left, the commissioner of our Department of Tourism, Mark Ezel, and Dennis Tumlin. Dennis, thank you both for being here. And now we'd like to recognize you all. Would you please come forward?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just wanted to first say thank you for your support as we got to help the governor and create the Bill Dance Signature Lakes. You're going to see more about them this year. We were with Bill yesterday. He could not get up here today to recognize these two gentlemen, but did want to tell you he is making his first ever a gift out of the Bill Dance Family and Friends Foundation that will be a college scholarship in 2 years should they choose to go to a college of their choice, and we will be supporting that effort. Thank you for your support. Rex, Max, we're really proud of y'all. You're great for Tennessee. God bless you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dennis. If you would, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of Bill Dance, he couldn't be here, as Commissioner Ezel said. He did send a gift. In addition to the scholarship, there's nothing better than the iconic Tennessee hat signed by Mr. Bill Dance himself. Congratulations, men.
Well, it's certainly been an honor for all of us to have these two young gentlemen and their families here with us today. With that, Mr. Speaker, would you take a moment? And by the way, before we do that, I would like to recognize Ron Gant, who, by the way, is a very, very close friend to Mr. Bill Dance. And Ron, thank you for being part of this. Chairman Todd, you as well. Mr. Speaker, please. What we have.
Representative Darby, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request the Sergeant at Arms escort our guest into the chamber.
Mr. Sergeant at Arms, escort the guests to the well, please. Representative Darby, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I request that the clerk read the resolution.
Mr. Clerk, please read the resolution.
House Joint Resolution 1026 by Representative Darby, a resolution to congratulate Allie Ridgway on being named the 2026 Hostess Princess of the 73rd Annual World's Biggest Fish Fry, and Jayla Boutwell, Kylie French, and Madeline Gottschall, and Madison Melton on being named the 2026 Hostess Princess Court. Whereas the members of this General Assembly are pleased to especially recognize those outstanding young women of this state whose poise, admirable personality traits, and beauty, both inner and outer, make them role models among their peers. And whereas 5 such outstanding young women from Henry County include Allie Ridgway, who was named the 2026 Hostess Princess, and Jayla Boutwell, Kylie French, Madeline Gottschall, and Madison Melton, who were selected as members of the 2026 Hostess Princess Court in honor of these festivities of the 73rd Annual World's Biggest Fish Fry, sponsored by the Paris Henry County Jaycees in Paris, Tennessee. And whereas the 2026 Hostess Princess Allie Ridgway, a senior at Henry County High School, and the daughter of Brad and Angie Ridgway. And whereas the 2026 Hostess Princess Court is composed of first maid Jayla Boutwell, second maid Kylie French, third maid Madeline Gottschall, and fourth maid Madison Melton. And whereas it is fitting that we specially recognize and honor the Hostess Princess and her court, 5 of Tennessee's most promising young women. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 114th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, the Senate concurring, that we honor and congratulate Allie Ridgway on being named 2026 Hostess Princess of the 73rd Annual World's Biggest Fish Fry in Paris, Tennessee. Likewise, we honor Jayla Boutwell, Kylie French, Madeline Gottschall, and Madison Melton on being named to the 2026 Hostess Princess Court, and extend to these exceptional young ladies our best wishes for every success in all their future endeavors.
Representative Darby, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I kind of want to set the record straight here. I know a lot of us go out and eat at night, and I know there's a lot of snickering going on about Darby's pretty tight. Darby don't want to pay, kind of chintzy. So I just wanted to set the record straight, and y'all heard it from me. I'm inviting every one of y'all out to the best fish fry that in West Tennessee, and Jay Reedy will pay for it. So please come. It's the 73rd fish fry going on in West Tennessee, and it's just the best way for West Tennessee to show our hospitality. So I don't want to steal any of our Queen's thunder. Mr. Speaker, could our Queen say a few words?
She's recognized. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished members of the Tennessee House of Representatives. My name is Allie Ridgway, and I'm deeply honored to stand before you today as the chosen 2026 World's Biggest Fish Fry Hostess Princess from our West Tennessee town, Paris. With me today is my wonderful Hostess Princess Court, first maid Jayla Boutwell, second maid Madeline Gottschall, Kylie French, third maid Madeline Gottschall, who cannot be with us today, and fourth maid Madison Melton. To begin, it is truly an honor to welcome you and thank you for your leadership, commitment, and service to the people of our great state of Tennessee. The work you do shapes the future of communities like mine, and we are grateful for your dedication. For more than 70 years, the World's Biggest Fish Fry has been a treasured tradition in Henry County. What began as a small town gathering has grown into one of the most beloved community traditions. Each April, our town comes alive with excitement, unity, and pride. This week is filled with events for all different ages and families. And, of course, the famous fish tent, where over 13,000 pounds of catfish are fried. There's truly something for everyone. Fish Fry is more than just a yearly event. It's a celebration of a heritage that sparked in 1938 as a Mule Day and quickly grew into now what is the world's biggest fish fry. It reflects what values that make this state so special: community, faith, hospitality, and pride in where we come from. It brings together generations, welcomes visitors from across the state, and reminds us all of the power of tradition. On behalf of the city of Paris and the county of Henry, it is my sincere honor to invite you to join us in April for the world's biggest fish fry. We would be proud to welcome you, share some catfish, and show you firsthand why this celebration means so much to us. Thriving for 7 decades, I would like to thank you again for your time, leadership, and service to the great state of Tennessee. We look forward to welcoming you to our little town of Paris, where tradition meets community, heritage is celebrated, and the world's biggest fish fry continues to make a mark on history. Thank you.
Representative Darby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you would, could you come down here for pictures with these lovely ladies?
Welcome and honoring Representative Parkinson, you're recognized. Leader Lambert's desk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the most important announcement that I'm going to make next to Ties for Turns. After consultation with the leadership of the Seersucker Caucus, we are announcing that the Seersucker Caucus will convene on Monday when we return to session this Monday. So you can go ahead and be the clap starters. Clap for that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I stand today with a heavy heart and I ask that you would stand with me. Our community unexpectedly lost a true leader yesterday. In most every community, there are those rare individuals who pour their heart into its people and its future. They didn't just believe in causes, they fought for them. They didn't just support others, they lifted them. In our community, that was Angie Shoemake Allman. When Angie believed in something or someone, she gave it her all. I was fortunate enough to be one of those that she believed in and fought for. With a servant's heart and a leader's courage, she stood firmly for what she believed was right. She was actually up here last month visiting with many of you about causes that she believed in. Her dedication, her beliefs, and her values, including her leadership in the Republican Party, leave behind a legacy of conviction and strength. We will miss her loyal friendship and her leadership. Please pray for her husband, Mike, her mom, her boys, her grandchildren, and our community today and the times ahead. I would ask for a moment of silence.
Thank you. Representative Raper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, next Saturday, not in 2 days, but the following one, Cleveland is having their annual Hot Slaw Festival. So I invite every one of you. And I also have some great news. He is risen.
Representative Hemmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wanted to welcome the middle school from Holy Trinity who did a Capitol tour today, and please make them feel welcome.
Representative McKenzie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to welcome two of our pages today, Hannon and Hayden Moore. They are from Knoxville. I grew up with their father, Churchill. They're juniors and sophomores at the Webb School of Knoxville, which my son and Representative Bain are proud graduates from. They're here with their mother, Melanie Hickman, and G.K. Hickman, and G.J. Hickman, and Mr. Hick, they're right up above me here, and he is the nephew of Wade Houston, former basketball coach at the University of Tennessee. So again, welcome, and you all welcome today. Good to see y'all. Thank you.
Representative Salinas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to highlight another case that I found out. The floodgates have opened. There is a student from Kingsbury High School in Memphis. He's 16 years old. He was a passenger in a car that got stopped. He is a refugee that did everything correctly and was taken away from his family. He has been gone, and they took him to Virginia. He's been there since November. This is someone that is a refugee, did everything correctly. He only has his sister. That's all he has. She is his legal guardian, and he was still taken away from her. So we're introducing more trauma to kids that have already been through a lot, and I hope that he will be able to come back to our community in Memphis soon. And in the same way that Reagan had to pay reparations for the Japanese internment camps, that day is coming for what's happening right now.
Representative Haston.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd ask that all the members would please rise. I know many of you knew or know Scott Gilmer, who was chief of staff here for many years and served many capacities. His mom recently passed away, Miss Gail Gilmer, and I knew her for a long time. She babysat me some when I was a kid. Just would ask that you please observe a moment of silence in remembrance of her and his family. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Sparks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to recognize a couple of my teachers of the year, Audrey Brinkley, David Jury Elementary School, Carissa Cunningham, John Coleman, Ophelia Rodriguez, Laverne Lake, Kimberly Raymer, RCS Virtual School, Michelle Crutchfield, Rock Springs, Chris Young, and Kelsey King, Rocky Fork Elementary School, Maria Fleenler, Rocky Fork Middle School, Amy Cunningham, Smyrna Elementary School, Leah Beachboard, Smyrna High School, Houston Watson, Smyrna Middle School, Candace Burnham, Heather Wilson, Natasha Morton, Ginger Adcock, Kristen Buford, Melody Williams, and Meredith Murdoch, Thurman France. Y'all give them a big round of applause.
All right, I believe that was all, if I didn't miss anybody. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Introduction to resolutions.
Representative Slater, for what purpose?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would move to request the return of Senate Bill 1758 from the Senate.
You've heard the motion. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That all resolutions properly filed be introduced pursuant to Order number 17 and placed on the consent calendar or referred to the appropriate standing committee.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Senate Joint Resolutions congratulatory memorializing.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That all Senate joint resolution congratulatory memorializing and allowing that has to be placed on the consent calendar pursuant to Order number 17.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Resolutions lying over.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That all resolutions lying over be referred to the appropriate standing committee.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Introduction to bills.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That House Bills 2006-165 be introduced and passed on first consideration.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Senate bills on first consideration.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Senate Bills 343, 1,613, 1,628, 1,668, 1,823, 1,871, 1,914, 1,915, 1,945, 2005, 2013, 2079, 2087, 2088, 2,133, 2,158, 2,159, 2,201, 2,416, 2,426, and 2,723 transmitted by the Senate to be held on the desk pending third consideration of their companion House bills.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Senate bills on second consideration, House bills on second consideration, petitions, memorials, reports of standing committees, reports of select committees, calendars, Mr. Speaker. House has a consent calendar.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of the consent calendar on third and final consideration in keeping with Rule 50.
Chair Lady Moody moves passage of the consent calendar. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, any objections been filed?
Mr. Speaker, no objections filed.
Oh, looks like there may be a late one there. Anyone seeking recognition on the consent calendar? Representative Love.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After consulting with both leaders, I'd like to add that all members voting in affirmative on item number 2, House Joint Resolution 1236, be listed as co-prime sponsors.
Without objection, exclusion is duly noted. Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After consulting with both speakers, item number 1, all that's voting in the affirmative be listed as co-prime sponsors. This is honoring my intern. She's from TSU, who's graduating as a senior this year. She's an honor from the sorority member Zeta Phi Beta, and also an ambassador, as well as she's graduating with a degree in political science. I'd like to ask all voting in the affirmative on number 1 be listed as co-prime sponsors.
Without objection, exclusion is duly noted. Anyone else seeking recognition on the consent calendar? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting on the consent calendar. All members in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, as any member wishes to change their vote. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Having received a constitutional majority, I declare the consent calendar passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is tabled. Call up next order, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the House has a regular calendar.
Call up first bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 2262 by Representative Martin, relative to investigations.
Chairman Martin, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 2262 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Martin moves passage, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption of Committee Amendment number 1, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of Committee Amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt the next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Martin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 2262 offers an initial screening instrument for the Tennessee Department of Children's Services to use when investigating allegations involving a child's caregiver. In the Comptroller's December of 2025 performance audit report of DCS, employees of the department suggested also authorizing the screening instrument for caregivers. Currently, it only applies to children and family members. Without the ability to consider unique circumstances of each report, investigators of DCS felt forced not to substantiate reports. If there's not an allegation of abuse or sexual assault, but is determined that the child may still be at risk of maltreatment, then DCS may choose appropriate levels of intervention. And with that, I renew my motion.
Chairman Martin renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of House Bill 2262 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As there, every member voted, as any member wishes to change their vote. Reeves, aye. Boyd, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 93, no nays.
House Bill 2262, having received constitutional majority, I hereby declare it passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 2048 by Representative McCallum and others relative to pre-kindergarten. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative McCallum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2426.
Representative McCallum moves to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2426, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative McCallum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 2426 on third and final consideration.
Representative McCallum moves passage of Senate Bill 2426 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the same as a Senate amendment, but we're going to move to withdraw and defer the sponsor for explanation.
Chairman White withdraws amendment number 1 without objection. So ordered. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative McCallum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, what Senate Bill 2426 does is includes teachers working within the LEA to have priority placement status for the voluntary pre-K. Current statute includes teachers that are outside of the geographic LEA. This bill seeks to include students of educators working for the LEA. It does not remove or create any new additional seats in the pre-K program, and it doesn't take any of the at-risk student spots, which we passed last year. So with that, I stand ready for any questions and renew my motion.
Representative McCallum renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2426 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 94, no nays.
Senate Bill 2426, having received the constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 2337, Representative McCallum and others relative to hospitals. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative McCallum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2194.
Representative McCallum moves to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2194, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative McCallum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 2194 on third and final consideration.
Representative McCallum moves passage of Senate Bill 2194 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Terry, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative McCallum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, what this bill does is simply allow for the Williamson County Hospital, should we sell the hospital with a 2/3 vote of the county commission, we can utilize the proceeds from that trust to be allocated to paying for roads or jails or schools or whatever they decide to vote on. So with that, I stand ready for any questions and renew my motion.
Representative McCallum renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2194 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 2194 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reads here is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 181 by Chair Lady Moody, relative to judicial districts. Ms. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chair Lady Moody, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage. Wait. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 0166.
Chair Lady Moody moves substitute form Senate Bill 166, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chair Lady Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 0166 on third and final consideration.
Chair Lady Moody moves passage of Senate Bill 166 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call the First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1, Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection. Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, we already have established the advisory task force to review the composition of Tennessee's current judicial districts. What this bill does, it changes the deadlines for the task force to complete their findings and recommend and publish a proposed statewide judicial redistricting plan to the legislature from January 1st, 2027 to January 1st, 2028. The second deadline that this is changing is for the General Assembly to reapportion the judicial districts from December 31st, 2027 to December 31st, 2028. And with that, I renew my motion.
Chair Lady Moody renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor, Senate Bill 166, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 93, no nays.
Senate Bill 166 having received constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1679, Chair Lady Moody, relative to underage persons. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to request that this bill be rolled 1 week, please.
Without objection, rolled 1 week. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1735 by Chair Lady Moody, relative to designees. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2077.
Chair Lady Moody moves to substitute and form Senate Bill 2077, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chair Lady Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 2077 on third and final consideration.
Chair Lady Moody moves passage of Senate Bill 2077 on third and final consideration. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1, Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as Senate Amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
House Education Committee Amendment number 2.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's not in the Senate bill, so I move to adopt.
Chairman White moves adoption of Committee Amendment number 2, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of Committee Amendment number 2 say aye, aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, this is dealing with our Tennessee Investment in Student Achievement Act and the TISA Review Committee that was created to mirror the old BEP Review Committee. So the committee will begin its work this year. And what we did as we amended this was to make it clear that those officials like the Comptroller of the Treasury, the House and Senate Education Chairs, and others assigned to this committee are the only ones who can actually cast a vote dealing with TISA. And with that, I renew my motion.
Chair Lady Moody renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Chairman Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So the way I understand this is we're allowing the chairman to appoint designees who are non-voting members. Is that correct?
Chair Lady Moody.
Yes, there was that provision. And the concern that we heard along the way with the bill was, would those designees be able to vote? So our amendment clarifies the designees do not, just the officials that serve on it.
Chairman Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So my concern here is this body that has a fiscal duty and constitutional responsibility of overseeing the budget not going to be a TISA review committee members that has, TISA is a substantial amount of money that's being appropriated. And so we're not going to have any guaranteed legislative voice on this review committee if these chairmen appoint designees who then can't vote.
Chair Lady Moody.
Thank you. These members that have been named are required to meet 4 times a year. So the expectation is they would be able to be there 4 times a year.
Chairman Clemens.
Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Speaker.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2077 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 73, 20 days, 1 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 2077 has received a constitutional majority. I hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsider table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 2275 by Chair Lady Moody, relative to school facilities. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2207.
Chair Lady Moody moves to substitute and conform Senate Bill 2207. Probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chair Lady Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 2207 on third and final consideration.
Chair Lady Moody moves passage of Senate Bill 2207 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as the Senate amendment, move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have House Amendment 2 by Representative Bain. Mr. Speaker, was not timely filed.
Representative Bain, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My constituents wanted to make sure that this advisory board's meetings were public. So this amendment does 3 things. First, it makes advisory board's recommendations public. Second, it makes board subject to open meeting laws, just like every other government board. And third, it allows the board to redact only specific security details that would actually compromise safety, not the entire recommendations. And with that, I move for adoption. Thank you.
Consideration. It's actually
Move for consideration.
Very good. You've heard the motion, probably seconded. We're voting for consideration of amendment number 2. All those in favor of considering amendment number 2, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 24, 69 days.
In accordance with Rule 60B, having failed to receive necessary 2/3 vote, the motion to consider amendment number 2 fails. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, this is strictly dealing with our school safety for our public and charter schools. And what this board will do, it creates the School Safety Task Force. And there are members from the Department of Education, Department of Safety, the State Fire Marshal, the Office of the State Architect, members of the Institute of Architects, and members with knowledge of K through 12 school facilities, and members who have knowledge of the school safety issues. That's what this forms, this task force, to recommend. We amended this to put this task force under the Department of Commerce and Insurance, because that's where the state fire marshals are. And with that, I renew my motion.
Chair Lady Moody renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2207, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? For no aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 92 days.
Senate Bill 2207 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsiders table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 853 by Representative Renault, relative to health care treatment of minors.
Representative Renault, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to roll this bill 1 week.
Without objection, roll 1 week. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1694 by Representative Renault and others, relative to emergency service for specially trained animals. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Renault, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to SB 2069.
Representative Renault moves to substitute and conform Senate Bill 2069, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Renault.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of SB 2069 on third and final consideration.
Representative Renault moves passage of Senate Bill 2069 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Renault, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, across Tennessee, canine officers serve on the front lines of public safety along with our human officers. These are not pets. They are highly trained officers by way of a significant public investment. These canines go into harm's way first many times. But today, when a canine is injured in the line of duty, there is not clarity in the law on how first responders can act. EMS personnel may be standing right there and ready to help, but are unsure of whether they can do so without risking liability or violating veterinary practice laws. This bill fixes that by creating a clear and limited pathway for EMS personnel to provide emergency stabilization and transport to our injured canine officers. First, human life always comes first. The bill explicitly states that EMS may only assist a canine if no human patient requires care or transport at that time. Second, this is not an expansion of veterinary medicine. EMS are authorized only to provide emergency stabilization. And third, this bill provides good faith immunity so EMS personnel can act without fear of civil, criminal, or professional consequences when they are simply trying to do the right thing in an emergency. Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Representative Renault renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2069, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change your vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 94, no nays.
Senate Bill 2069 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed by objection. The motion to reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 2393 by Representative Renault and others relative to education. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Renault, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to SB 2310.
Representative Renault moves substitute and form Senate Bill 2310 on properly seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Renault.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of SB 2310 on third and final consideration.
Representative Renault moves passage of Senate Bill 2310 on third and final consideration. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call the First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as the Senate amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
House Amendment 2 by Representative Johnson. Mr. Speaker, was timely filed.
Representative Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What this amendment does, it says that if our public tax dollars go to private schools with vouchers, any school that receives public tax dollars will also, this would count for those schools as well. Because the reality is, if we think this is important, and I think this is a good bill and I support this bill, and the only way to make it better is those schools that are receiving public tax dollars that with a voucher, then they should also enact these policies as well. So all this does is say, if this is good for our elementary students, which I believe it is, shouldn't we do it for all elementary students receiving public tax dollars, including our voucher schools? I move consideration.
Representative Johnson moves adoption. It's actually adoption. Adoption of amendment number 2, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Move previous question on the amendment.
Previous question been called. Any objection? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of adopting amendment number 2, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 23, 71 nays.
Amendment number 2 fails. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Renault, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, we are seeing a real and growing problem in our classrooms. We still have kids who are struggling to read. We have shorter attention spans, and we have students struggling to retain what they learn. And at the same time, digital devices have become the default method of instruction for many of our youngest learners. Research is increasingly clear that this is problematic. Studies show that students retain more when reading from paper and writing by hand than when learning primarily through screens. Screens tend to encourage skimming and distraction, while real learning requires focus, memory formation, and deep comprehension. And fundamentally, humans, especially children, learn best from other humans, from teachers, with real interaction, discussion, feedback, and relationships that technology simply cannot replicate. Young students develop literacy and reasoning through books, handwriting, discussion, and direct instruction. Technology can support those goals, but it should not replace the foundations of learning. And that's what this legislation addresses. As amended, school districts serving students in grades K through 5 must adopt a policy that prioritizes in-person, teacher-led instruction and non-electronic materials as the primary mode of learning. It requires that digital devices be used only when there is a clear educational benefit, prohibits social media use during the day, and ensures tools are developmentally appropriate and provides transparency to parents. Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Representative Renaud renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Chairman Clemens, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So my concern here is the breadth of the definition of digital device. So in elementary schools across MNPS, teachers have digital whiteboards. So they're not using the traditional chalkboard. They have it's basically a large screen TV, digital screen on which they write and access information during instructional time. The way that this is written seems that they have to limit the use of that digital device in the classroom. Is that correct? And is that the intent of the legislation?
Representative Renaud.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No, it is allowing each LEA to develop a policy and how they would like to address those.
Chairman Clemens.
Well, my concern is the breadth of the definition of digital device to include those, and the goal of this being to limit the use of digital devices issued by the LEA. And then the exclusionary section in subsection D only allows exceptions for targeted instructional support, which I assume would be ILP type related stuff, intervention or remediation. So I guess I'm really concerned that I understand the spirit of the legislation. I agree with the spirit of the legislation and your intent. I'm just concerned about if we're basically taking the chalkboard away from the teachers as they're currently used today.
Representative Renaud.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The intent is to specifically the one-to-one digital devices that might be used where a child is learning through the device. We're definitely not trying to take away other tools that the teacher might use.
Chairman Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know if the Senate's already voted on this, but I would suggest respectfully a more narrow definition of digital devices for that purpose. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Renaud. Good. Chairman White.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Representative, I appreciate you working with the Education Committee. We went through a lot of these questions, just like the minority leader just pointed out. But we vetted this very heavy in Education Committee because of social media. The sponsor, she worked with us, and we amended this. And the thing is, maybe in the future, as we keep talking about the ever-evolving social media, what it is or what was just brought up, we'll continue to work on that. But I feel very comfortable with your bill because in section D1, it says nothing in this bill should be demonstrated to prohibit the use of a digital device for targeted instructional support, intervention, and remediation. And I think that covers a lot of things. So I think that line in there really covers some of the concerns that we had originally. And thank you for your amendment. Thank you.
Representative Fritz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move previous question.
Previous question been called. Is there objection? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2310 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 87, 6 nays.
Senate Bill 2310 having received constitutional majority, I hereby declare it passed without objection. The motion reconsiders table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1669 by Chairman Rudd relative to elections. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Rudd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1619.
Chairman Rudd moves substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1619, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Rudd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of SB 1619 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Rudd moves passage of Senate Bill 1619 on third and final consideration. Public second. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House State and Local Government Committee Amendment Number 1, same as Senate Amendment Number 1.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as Senate Amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment Number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Rudd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What this bill does, it's a cleanup bill of three different issues on the voting. Section 1, this part of the bill is to establish reimbursement procedures in the years where the General Assembly provides funds for May primary elections. The process will mirror the system the Secretary of State uses and currently has in place for the reimbursement of presidential preference primary. Item number 2, to prohibit private funding of any election administration for both state and county elections. And item number 3, by the way, on 2, right now, the only exception to that is from the speakers of the House and Senate. This would just simply outlaw private funding for elections altogether. Section 3 is a filing requirement created by the digital record keeping. County commissions will still maintain, county election commissions will still maintain a copy of paper records of all voters and registrations, but will not be required to store them alphabetically. Item number 2, if the county determines it would be more effective to store records by date rather than alphabetically, that would be allowable so long as the paper record could be located when needed. And finally, hard copies of purged records would still have to be filed separately, but the reason for the purge would be stored with the voter's electronic record rather than a paper copy on each file, and the files would still be readily available. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Rudd renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Pearson.
Thank you, Speaker. And sponsor, I am just concerned a little bit about the purging records. And so it's saying that, if I'm understanding your legislation correctly, that after 2 years of the date of someone being purged, the County Election Commission may destroy the purged registration records. But one, that seems very quick to me, particularly if there's an accident or there's a mistake and someone was incidentally purged or accidentally purged. We no longer have any way to track that. And that's in, page section 6, subsection B, A and B. And so just the timing of that seems very concerning to me.
Chairman Rudd.
Mr. Pearson, to my knowledge, the 2 years is in current record. The only thing we're changing in this bill is, though again, it's already a current procedure, is the actual storing of the electronic record and the attachment of a receipt to each voter, and now can be stored electronically.
Representative Pearson.
So for now, how would you access those files if the records are being destroyed about who's getting purged and who's not? And this is partly a concern for me in Shelby County because we're dealing with a number of people who are listed as inactive. And I know a number of people who are purged, you usually have a death certificate for why they are being purged. But in the incidental case that someone has been purged by mistake, if that 2-year period has passed and they are now looking to vote, what's the process for remediation of that if those files aren't available?
Chairman Rudd.
It would be like it is now. There's still a digital copy stored as it is now when the paper copies are purged due to storage requirements. So that digital copy would still be there and available.
Representative Pearson.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1619, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 72, 23 nays.
Senate Bill 1619, none received constitutional majority. I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1671, relative to relocation of homeless persons. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Rudd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request to roll HB 1671 to the next available calendar.
Without objection, roll to the next available calendar. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1743, but Chairman Rudd, relative to elections.
Chairman Rudd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of HB 1743 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Rudd moves passage. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call the first amendment.
House State and Local Government Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rewrites the bill to refer to the sponsor for further explanation. Move to adopt.
Chairman Crawford moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt the next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Rudd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What this bill does, we use the caption to do this. This is the legislative fixes an unintended error in state law. If you use a sign and you have the previous campaign's treasurer on it and you've changed treasurers, you have to you're supposed to cover that up with a new treasurer. And if not, you could actually be prosecuted by your DA. Luckily, no one has, but this is an unintended consequence of a previous bill passed years ago. What it now states, this bill states that if you, let's say that a leader Faison were to have a bill and I was treasurer and then I moved or resigned as treasurer or he changed treasurers, he no longer would have to change the disclosure because it's deceptive to say the new treasurer paid for it when the old one did. So this simply states that you are able to use on your campaign materials the previous campaign treasurer and committee that paid for it until those supplies are exhausted. And then anything purchased under the new campaign with the new committee would, treasurer would put that new disclosure on it. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Rudd renews his motion. Discussion on the bill. Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just one question. I thank you for the bill, but what if that person didn't want to be your treasurer? How would that affect the law?
Chairman Rudd.
It wouldn't affect this. It's if the treasurer wanted off, you'd appoint a new one. And that's not covered under this bill, but you'd appoint a new one if you wanted to change treasurers.
Representative Shaw.
I think my question is, if that treasurer didn't want to be, even if you appointed another, would you have to cover up his name or her name?
Chairman Rudd.
No, that's the committee that paid for it and the treasurer that signed the check, so it would still have to remain on the sign.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of House Bill 1743 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Let the journal reflect Representative Gillespie is excused. Please take the vote, Mr. Clerk.
Ayes 94, no nays.
House Bill 1743 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. Most read series table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1820 by Chairman Russell and others relative to constables.
Chairman Russell, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1820 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Russell moves passage by second. Mr. Clerk, call the first amendment.
House State and Local Government Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rewrites the bill to refer to the sponsor for further explanation. Move to adopt.
Chairman Crawford moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Properly second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt the next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Russell, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1820 requires a person elected or appointed to the office of constable on or after January 1st, 2029 to have graduated from a Tennessee post-approved certified law enforcement academy. It also is a cleanup bill that changes the psychological to the same as a law enforcement officer. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Russell renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Bill 1820 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 92, nays.
House Bill 1820 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. Most read series table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1707 by Representative Scarborough and others relative to immigration.
Representative Scarborough, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of HB 1707 on third and final consideration.
Representative Scarborough moves passage following second. Mr. Clerk, call the first amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment Number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption of commitment number 1. Probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of commitment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
House Amendment 2, Representative Bain, Mr. Speaker, was not timely filed.
Representative Bain, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was concerned as to how this bill impacts judicial discretion as it threatens judges with removal for obstruction, and the bill didn't bother to define what obstruction actually means. Tennessee judges don't serve at the pleasure of the Department of Homeland Security, and Article 6 of our Constitution puts judicial power in the courts. And our own code of judicial conduct requires that judges be free from outside influence, political pressure, agency pressure, or any pressure itself that isn't the law. So my amendment says that obstruction means one thing: intentionally physically interfering with a lawful operation under a valid judicial warrant. Otherwise, we need to ensure that Tennessee judges can maintain their constitutional discretion. So with that, I ask you to vote in favor for this amendment to preserve the independence of the Tennessee judiciary. I move for consideration.
You've heard the motion, probably seconded. We're voting for consideration of amendment number 2. All those in favor of considering amendment number 2, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, as any member wish to take their vote, change their vote. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 24, 69 nays.
In accordance with Rule 60B, having failed to receive necessary 2/3 vote, the motion to consider amendment number 2 fails. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Scarborough, you're recognized.
House Bill 1707 requires all courts in Tennessee must cooperate with federal immigration authorities when enforcing immigration laws. In this bill, if a judge obstructs lawful federal immigration enforcement, they can be reported to Tennessee Board of Judicial Conduct. The board can investigate the judge for judicial misconduct. Such as found, it can be grounds for removal from office. In conclusion, this bill makes it clear that Tennessee courts must stand in line with federal immigration enforcement, where judges may face disciplinary action. That's that, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
Representative Scarborough renews the motion. Discussion on the bill. Representative Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I've got a lot of concerns with this bill, but I want to raise my greatest concern is if you look at what happened, a lot of people this session have been talking about Minnesota. So let's look at what happened in Minnesota. You had 2 U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, who were murdered by federal agents. Now, if that was to occur in our state, under this law, if our judges wanted to hold those people accountable for the offense of capital murder, knowingly killing someone who is a citizen of the United States in cold blood, they could be removed from office under this. And I want people to consider that. We should have jurisdiction in our state, if we truly believe in state law and state government, authority over federal officials who come in and knowingly not only break federal law, but also break the laws of the state of Tennessee. Under this bill, as it's written, this would intimidate judges and make them fearful of holding people accountable who are not residents of this state, who are federal agents, and oftentimes not residents of the state. We are not allowing ourselves to hold those people accountable. I want you to think about that. Passing a law that makes it so that we are letting the federal government override anything that happens in our state and to our citizens and people. So the sponsor is welcome to respond to that, but I think all members should have concerns with this bill.
Representative Scarborough.
This bill does not require the judge to deviate from Tennessee rules of criminal procedure. With that, I renew my motion.
Representative Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I guess we talked a little bit in committee how this is not a problem Tennessee has. This hasn't happened in Tennessee. And we have a board of judicial review just so that we can do that. Report judges who need to be reported. We can already do that. I'm not sure what we're doing here other than like a gorilla beats its chest, I guess, to show how tough they are. That's not something that's happening in Tennessee. And it also is something that we can already do. So I'm trying to see the point of this legislation.
Representative Scarborough.
And I appreciate the comment. I've been in public service executive for 3 decades now. And quite frankly, one thing that we come across when it comes to developing policy is if you don't have a policy to address a circumstance, then your past practice becomes your policy. This is a proactive measure so we have a clear understanding of cooperation with our Tennessee state judges. That I renew my motion.
Representative Johnson.
Thank you. But I just want to point out they can already be reported to the Board of Judicial Conduct. So I'm not sure what we're doing here that's different.
Representative Fritz.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker. To the sponsor, when I read through your bill, I didn't see anything that granted any immunity to any federal law enforcement regarding Tennessee laws. I only saw an accountability so that the judges answer to the people of Tennessee. Is that correct?
Representative Scarborough.
That is correct. Thank you for the question.
Representative Fritz. Thank you. Representative Hicks of Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move previous question.
Previous question been called. Is there objection? There's objection. We're on the board. All those in favor of previous question, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 72, 23 nays.
Previous question prevails. We're voting. All those in favor of House Bill 1707 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does anyone wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 71, 24 nays.
House Bill 1707 having received constitutional majority, everybody declare passed by objection. Motion to reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1263 by Chairman Slater relative to children.
Chairman Slater, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to re-refer House Bill 1263 to Judiciary Committee.
Without objection, referred to Judicial Committee. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1495 by Chairman Slater relative to adult day services. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill's on the desk.
Chairman Slater, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1581.
Chairman Slater moves substitute and form Senate Bill 1581, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Slater.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1581 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Slater moves passage of Senate Bill 1581 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call the First Amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Terry, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Terry moves adoption of Committee Amendment number 1, probably seconded. Any discussion on amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting Committee Amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted the next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Slater, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Religiously affiliated respite care programs are currently exempt under state law. They can serve up to 15 participants per day. This bill would allow them to serve up to 20 participants per day. And with that, I renew my motion.
Chairman Slater renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Leader Lamberth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And this is a fantastic bill. It makes a minor change to help out some really good organizations, one of which is with us today, Veranda Ministries, that you and I share the city of Gallatin and the fine people there that we represent. And Veranda Ministries is here, I believe, in the balcony with us. And I deeply appreciate the work that they do. And I think Representative Slater is telling me they're over here, but this bill will help them and many other organizations throughout the state to care for our elderly friends. And look, if we're all blessed to live long enough to get there, we all might get to the point where we have younger family members that are caring for us, that are guiding us through life, and we may be able to take care of most things. But these organizations just really help love on our elderly, and we should all hopefully vote for a bill like this so that fine organizations like the Veranda Ministries can really just continue their work to help folks that just need a little bit of help. It's not assisted living. It's not a nursing home or anything like that. Those are fine facilities as well. But this is folks that need just a little bit of help. And so hopefully this is one that we can all support. Thank you for bringing the bill.
Chairman Slater.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
Chairman Slater, any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 1581 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, as any member wish to change their vote. Let the journal reflect Representative Farmer's excused. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 88, no nays, 6 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 1581 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Motion to reconsider is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1882 by Chairman Slater relative to state university boards.
Chairman Slater, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request that we roll House Bill 1882 to the next available calendar.
Without objection, roll to the next calendar. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Item 19, House Bill 1904 by Chairman Terry relative to Indian child welfare. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Terry, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute conform to Senate Bill 485.
Chairman Terry moves substitute form Senate Bill 485, probably second without objection. So ordered. Chairman Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 485 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Terry moves passage of Senate Bill 485 on third and final consideration, probably second. Mr. Clerk, call the first amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment Number 1, same as Senate Amendment Number 1.
Vice Chair Davis, you're recognized. Oh, sorry. Chairman Russell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as the Senate amendment, move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment Number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since 1978, for Native American children, all state courts, including Tennessee's, follow the federal standards under the Indian Child Welfare Act involving child custody proceedings, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. This bill simply ensures that if the Indian Child Welfare Act federal protections are ever repealed at the federal level, Tennessee would keep the framework in place for Native American children until our legislature has time to review the issue and determine an appropriate state policy. I renew my motion.
Chairman Terry renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Jones of Davison, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I think this is really important bipartisan legislation, and I wanted to join my colleague, Representative Terry, in supporting this. I spoke with the Native American Indian Association yesterday, and for nearly two centuries, federal policies promoted the forced removal of Indian children from their families and communities through boarding schools, foster care, and adoption. My own elder who opened our session last year, Grandma Marilyn Youngberg, was taken from her family in North Dakota and placed in a boarding school. This is in the lifetime of members of this body. And so these policies were targeted attack on the existence of tribes, and they inflicted trauma on children, families, and communities that people continue to feel today. Congress passed the Indian Child Welfare Act in 1978 to put an end to these policies. And I think that we should pay attention to the effective date of this legislation. The effective date of this legislation is if the Indian Child Welfare Act is overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court or repealed by the U.S. Congress. And some people say, that may not happen. But it was just in 2023 that a federal case in a 7-2 ruling on June 15, 2023, the U.S. Supreme Court case of Holland v. Breaking rejected a Republican-led challenge to the Indian Child Welfare Act. Texas, Louisiana, Indiana, and individual white foster adoptive parents filed a lawsuit arguing that the 1978 law, which prioritizes Native families in foster and adoptive placements, was based on race and violated Federalist principles. The petitioners contended that the Indian Child Welfare Act placement preferences are racially discriminatory, violated equal protection, and that Congress exceeded its authority by overstepping its state-controlled child welfare matters. But in the 7-2 ruling, the Supreme Court upheld the Indian Child Welfare Act, saying that we must uphold tribal sovereignty. And so I know there are a few members who are Native here. I see John, Representative Holsey, and I think we can all stand together to uplift our Native communities and say that this is not an issue of left or right, but it's about correcting a historical wrong in this nation. The removal of children from their families, placing them in boarding schools, trying to strip their indigenous and Native identity. This is not ancient history. This is something that happened in the past few decades. And so we all must stand together to support the Indian Child Welfare Act. And I want to thank Representative Terry for bringing this as a member of the Oklahoma Choctaw Nation and for all your work for our Native people. Thank you.
Chairman Terry.
Just to thank you for the support.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we're voting. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 45, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, as any member wish to change their vote. Scarborough. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 94, no nays.
Senate Bill 45 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed by objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 2516 by Chairman Todd, relative to solid waste. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2547.
Chairman Todd moves substitute form Senate Bill 2547, properly seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 2547 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Todd moves passage of Senate Bill 2547 on third and final consideration. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call the First Amendment.
House Agricultural and Natural Resources Committee Amendment Number 1, same as Senate Amendment Number 1.
Vice Chairman Stinnett, you're recognized.
It's a Senate amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of regional solid waste plans must identify where waste will be disposed of and managed for 10 years. And all this bill does, it requires regional plans to be updated and resubmitted to the department at least every 10 years. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Todd renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. When you're saying that they must be reported for the 10 years, is that at the local level or state level?
Chairman Todd.
Each region, there are 66 regional entities, and they have to submit these by July 1st of 2028 will be the first one.
Chairman Crawford. Got it. Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2547 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 78, no nays, 12 present, not voted.
Senate Bill 2547 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reads here is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1723 by Representative Travis and others relative to minors appearing in online content. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1469.
Representative Travis moves substitute form Senate Bill 1469, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Travis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1469 on third and final consideration.
Representative Travis moves passage of Senate Bill 1469 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Commerce Committee Amendment 1, Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment 1.
Chairman Vaughn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill updates Tennessee laws to address an issue that simply did not exist when most of our child labor protections were written: the rise of monetized social media content featuring children. The bill also requires a content creator whose video content features a minor who is 14 years of age or older but under 18 years of age engage in the work of content creation to maintain certain records until the minor reaches 21 years old. And it requires a parent or other adult who features a minor in video content shared on an online platform for compensation to set aside an amount of gross earnings of the video content in a trust account for the minor. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'm renew my motion.
Representative Travis renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Powell.
And thank you, Mr. Speaker. Apologies to the sponsor. I didn't get to see you before. Just reading this bill. Can you speak to, there are a lot of people now that are out there that are new sports, that are trying to create content to share video highlights, and they have a pretty significant following. Can you speak to how that might work as far as people that are out there generating content to try to promote themselves athletically or in other ways?
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, this bill will not affect anything like that. It's just for when people are making money for this content, that's where it comes in effect.
Representative Powell.
So a lot of times, some of these social media platforms, as you are aware, will, after people get a certain number of followers and stuff, and they don't even ask for it, sometimes they'll start generating money from those content creators. If that's the case, would they still be able to receive that money, or what would they need to do with that?
Representative Travis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, if they're making money from this content that they're putting on, the child would receive the money in a trust account.
Representative Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I call previous question.
Previous question been called. Any objection? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1469, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 92, no nays, one present, not voting.
Senate Bill 1469 having received constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reads here table. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1061 by Representative Vital and others relative to no surprise ambulance billing.
Representative Vital, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1061 on third and final consideration.
Representative Vital moves passage. Public second. Mr. Clerk, call it first amendment.
House Insurance Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Kumar, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt and defer to the sponsor for explanation.
Chairman Kumar moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting committee amendment number 1, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The ayes have it. You adopt the next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Vital, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill simply eliminates no surprise billing with ambulance services. Emergency ambulance services are frontline healthcare providers required by law to respond to 911 calls regardless of a patient's insurance or ability to pay. Patients cannot choose their ambulance provider during an emergency, and providers cannot choose which insurance networks to join for 911 calls. What is balanced billing or surprise billing? Balanced billing occurs when an emergency ambulance provider bills a patient for the difference between the provider's total charges and the amount covered by the patient's plan. This bill will recognize and help us sort out out-of-network status issues, reimbursement gaps, and surplus costs. The bill is comprehensive for patient protections, removes patients from disputes, and provides transparency, fair and prompt reimbursement, and oversight and enforcement. And with that, I renew my motion.
Representative Vital renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection? Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I heard this bill, I think in the insurance and in finance, I think one of, maybe both of them. And this is a great bill. Chairman, thank you for bringing it. Appreciate you bringing it. This is needed for our people. Thank you.
All right. Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of House Bill 1061 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 94, no nays.
House Bill 1061 having received constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed by objection. The motion reads here is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1892 by Chairman Williams relative to taxpayer agreements.
Chairman Williams, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1892 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Williams moves passage. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it first amendment.
House State and Local Government Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment establishes additional requirements for taxpayer agreements authorized under the bill. Defer to the sponsor for further explanation. Move to adopt.
Chairman Crawford moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt it. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Williams, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill simply allows investors to back the debt for tax increment financing programs in our local communities. It was worked on with our local government officials and CTAS, and so with that, I move passage on third and final consideration.
Chairman Williams renews his motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of House Bill 1892 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 86, no nays, 7 present, not voting.
House Bill 1892, having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed by objection. The motion reads here is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1872 by Deputy Speaker Zachary relative to private causes of action. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Deputy Speaker Zachary, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2031.
Deputy Speaker Zachary moves substitute form Senate Bill 2031. Probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Deputy Speaker Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move passage of Senate Bill 2031 on third and final consideration.
Deputy Speaker Zachary moves passage of Senate Bill 2031 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it first amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Russell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As amendment rewrites the bill, move to adopt and defer to the sponsor for further explanation.
Chairman Russell moves adoption of amendment number 1. Party seconded. Any discussion on amendment? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting amendment number 1, say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt the next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Deputy Speaker Zachary, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this legislation creates a civil cause of action against any healthcare professional by a person who suffered an injury that resulted from a gender transition procedure if the reason for that person consented to the procedure was due to coercion as defined by TCA 3911-106 without a new motion.
Deputy Speaker Zachary renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. Oh. Representative Bain, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sponsor, this body has spent years telling Tennesseans that parents know best. Parents know the best about their children's education, best about their children's health care, and best about everything. And we've passed bill after bill in this building on that exact premise. However, this bill says that a parent can sit across from their child's doctor, they can hear the diagnosis, they can ask every question, they can weigh that with every action, they can sign every consent form, and then 30 years later, someone can walk into a court and call that coercion. So I have a few questions, Mr. Sponsor. One, under this bill, if a parent signs an informed consent form, attends every appointment, participates in every step of their child's care, and supports that care over 30 years, can that care still be characterized as coercion in this bill?
Deputy Speaker Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, as a reminder to the body, a couple of years ago, we banned gender mutilation procedures on minors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Bain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So if a parent's informed consent is not sufficient enough to protect a physician from a 30-year liability window, who in this bill has the authority to then make that medical decision for the child? Is it the legislature? Is it a future plaintiff? Is it the jury?
Deputy Speaker Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a reminder to this body, a couple of years ago, we banned gender mutilation procedures on minors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Bain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This body has opposed mandatory vaccination requirements on the grounds that medical decision belongs to the parents. We have opposed school board health policies on the grounds that parents have the right to direct their child's care. Does the sponsor believe that the principle applies consistently or only when this body approves of the medical decision being made?
Deputy Speaker Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I'll put it in language maybe that some of my friends on the other side of the aisle can understand. If you're an adult and you like your gender transition procedure, you can keep it. If you were coerced by a doctor, then you have a right of action against that doctor as defined by TCA. And again, as a reminder to this body and as a reminder to Tennesseans, we stood up for the protection of children and we banned gender mutilation procedures for children a couple of years ago. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Bain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The ideological inconsistency with this bill is breathtaking. This body has built an entire legislative philosophy on the premise that parents know best. We have used that argument to remove books from schools. We have used it to limit what teachers can say in classrooms. We have used it to pass bill after bill restricting what public institutions can do with children. But this bill takes what the parent's experience with that child for over 30 years and said none of that matters, only pushing parental rights for an agenda that codifies a particular worldview into law. And we cannot claim to trust parents on one issue and then strip them of trust on another. Unless we are being honest that this was never about parental authority, it was always about controlling what kind of families were allowed to exist in this state. So I will be voting no, and I urge every member who has ever said that parents know best to vote against this legislation. Thank you.
Deputy Speaker Zachary. All good.
Good.
Representative McCalman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move previous question.
Previous has been called. Is there objection? Seeing none. We're on the board for previous question. All those in favor of previous question vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Raper, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 70, 22 nays.
Previous question prevails. We're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2031 as amended vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 72, 19 nays.
Senate Bill 2031 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. Motion for consideration table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 2313 by Chairman Hawk relative to early childhood and mental health programs. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Hawk, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 2153.
Chairman Hawk moves substitute form Senate Bill 2153 without objection. So ordered. Chairman Hawk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 2153 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Hawk moves passage of Senate Bill 2153 on third and final consideration. By second, Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no amendments filed.
Chairman Hawk, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, Senate Bill 2153 authorizes the Tennessee Department of Health to establish a voluntary, once again, a voluntary evidence-based early childhood mental health home visiting program for families with children under the age of 5 who are experiencing or at risk for mental health challenges. This bill is targeted and straightforward. It gives the Department of Health the ability to model and deliver in-home screening, caregiver supports, parenting strategies, attachment building, and connections to resources right where families live before any concerns may escalate or become more costly to address. This is not a program to diagnose or prescribe. Once again, I'll state that again. This is not a program to diagnose or prescribe. This would be a model for a program to offer supports for these families and the children that they love, only after a physician would have diagnosed. With that explanation, Mr. Speaker and members, I renew my motion.
Chairman Hawk renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Sparks.
Chairman Hawk, I know you and I talked about this earlier, and I think you explained some of it. I've gotten a lot of questions to my office on this. I think some of y'all have as well. Just to reiterate what you just said, here's the question. Does House Bill 2313 include a clear and easy opt-out provision allows parents to decline participation in the home visiting program at any time without penalty? And how would the state ensure that families fully understand their right to refuse services before clinicians enter their home?
Chairman Hawk.
Thank you. If I understood your question correctly, there's nothing that compels a family to participate in this program to start with. There are models and parts of the program that are set up and the family could participate in should they choose to, but there's at no point in time a mandatory continuation of this program. It is modeled after the nurse family program that is operating in all 95 counties that has helped thousands of Tennesseans in the same way we're looking to do this. Representative Sparks.
Representative Sparks.
Yep. Chairman, I do trust your judgment, trust your character. As we all know, mental health is a serious issue. And I've shared this, I'm going to share this letter real quick that correlates with this, if it's okay. I've shared it in education years ago. This letter I got was from our school superintendent, 50-year educator. After this letter, she sadly died about a week or two later. But here's what the letter is, Chairman. I apologize for being so delayed in responding. She said, please thank Representative Sparks for reaching out. Yes, more funding for counselors would certainly help with the social, emotional issues we're seeing. Another area, social workers are vital. Many school districts can't fund them. I also think it'd be helpful for him and other lawmakers to speak with their school superintendents. Here's what she says that is so alarming. She says the behaviors of our 6 to 9-year-olds are like nothing we've ever seen before. They are disorderly, disruptive, and aggressive, and we're bringing all the resources into play. But sadly, there's no place for these children to be assessed. She said, I feel good about what the Department of Education is trying to accomplish in the emphasis of the whole child. I'm hopeful that the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse will work alongside them to help address upper tier children who there seems to be no answers. Appreciate what you're doing, Chairman, and I do trust your judgment.
Chairman Hawk.
Renew my motion.
Representative Reedy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It was a couple of years ago, same topic matter, visited with the Commissioner of the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse, and she brought it to my attention that we as parents at any time with our child in any school, with the parent's decision and with the principal of that school, no cost to the family, that a mental health evaluation can be done. So kind of put that in the back of your minds. Once we see something going on, with the permission of that parent in that school district, we can get that child help. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Hawk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
All right, any further discussion? Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 2153 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 71, 17 nays, 5 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 2153 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Bob, next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, that completes the regular calendar.
Next calendar, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the House has a message calendar.
Bob, first message, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 47 by Chairman Hill relative to education. Mr. Speaker, on March 19, 2026, the Senate substituted House Bill 47 for Senate Bill 303, adopted Amendment 1, and passed House Bill 47 as amended.
Chairman Hill, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment that was added makes this bill mandatory and also has some other changes. So I move to non-concur in Senate Amendment number 1.
Without objection, we non-concur. Next message, Mr. Clerk.
Senate Bill 468 by Chairman Bolso and others relative to safety. Mr. Speaker, on March 26, 2026, the Senate refused to recede from its action and appointed a conference committee.
Chairman Bolso, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to accede to the request of the Senate and ask that a conference committee be appointed to confer with a like committee from the Senate to resolve the differences between the two bodies.
Chairman Bozo moves to accede to the request of the Senate, asks that a conference committee be appointed to confer with a like committee from the Senate to resolve the differences between the two bodies. Probably seconded. Without objection, motion carries. I appoint the following members: Representative Bolso, Barrett, Renault, and Reedy. Call up next message, Mr. Clerk.
Senate Bill 2320 by Speaker Pro Tem Morris relative to campaigns and campaign finance. Mr. Speaker, on March 26, 2026, the Senate non-concurred in House Amendment 1.
Speaker Pro Tem Marsh, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we refuse to recede from our action in adopting Amendment number 1.
Without objection, we refuse to receive. Next message, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, that completes the message calendar.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business. Leader Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that House Bill 2172 be heard in the Criminal Justice Subcommittee next week.
For the motion, without objection, so ordered. Leader Lambert.
Mr. Speaker, I do anticipate an objection, but I move that all bills favorably considered by the Criminal Justice Subcommittee be heard in the Judiciary Committee next week.
For the motion, there's objection. There's objection. We're on the board. All those in favor of the, let me make sure I read this to you. A yes vote would allow the Criminal Justice Subcommittee bills to be heard in the Judicial Committee next week. All those in favor vote aye. Those opposed vote no. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 70, 22 nays.
Motion prevails. Leader Lambert, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move that House Bills 1,465, 2,661, and 2,662 be heard on the State and Local Government Committee consent calendar next week.
For the motion, any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Leader Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move that House Bills 1,664 and 1,666 be heard in the Education Committee next week.
For the motion, any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Leader Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And again, in consulting with my colleagues across the aisle here, I do anticipate objection. But Mr. Speaker, I move that all bills favorably considered by the Government Operations Committee be heard in the next appropriate subcommittee or standing committee next week.
You've heard the motion. Any objections? We have objection. We're on the board. All those in favor of government ops bills that were considered to be heard in the next appropriate subcommittee or standing committee the same week, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Reeves, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 69, 23 nays.
Motion prevails. Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that House Bill 1263 be heard in the Judiciary Committee next week.
You've heard the motion. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I think I'm at the right time. Is this unfinished business?
Yes, sir.
I would move that the rules be suspended for the immediate consideration of SJR 960.
Mr. Clerk, please read the caption.
Senate Joint Resolution 960 by Representative Shaw, resolution to honor, commend Wyatt Poole and Joseph Tosh upon winning first place in the problem-solving divisions at the Tennessee Jobs for America's Graduate State Career Development Conference.
You heard the caption. Any objections? Without objection, the rules are suspended. Representative Shaw.
Move to concur in SJR 960.
Representative Shaw moves to concur in Senate Joint Resolution 960. Properly seconded. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. I declare concurrence without objection. Most reconsider table. Chairman Clemens. All right. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the parliamentary inquiry was about the makeup of the appointment of conference committee, and if our rules require that each party be represented, the rules do not.
Mr. Clerk, your announcement.
Mr. Speaker, we have a message from the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I'm directed to return to the House Bill 1857, substitute for the Senate bill on the same subject, amended and passed by the Senate.
Monday's message counter. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have a message from the Senate. I'm directed to transmit to the House Senate Bill 1110, the Senate non-concurred in House Amendment 1.
Monday's message calendar. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, I'm directed to return to the House Bill 1705, substituted for the Senate bill on the same subject, amended and passed by the Senate.
Monday's message calendar. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Scheduling and procedural announcements.
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the amendment filing deadline because of tomorrow's holiday for committees that meet on Monday will be the close of business today because we will not be here tomorrow. The schedule for next week, Monday, GovOp at 11 a.m. in room 1, Private Acts room 2 at 1 p.m., session at 2 p.m. Tuesday, session 8:30 a.m., Judiciary room 1 at noon, Criminal sub immediately following Judiciary, and then Judiciary will come back again after Criminal, immediately following Criminal sub. All that is in room 1, with Finance meeting in room 1 at 3:30. Wednesday, session again, 8:30 a.m. Commerce, room 1 at noon. Finance sub, room 3 at 12:30. State and Local, room 1, 2:30. Education, 2:30 in room 3. And then a session at 9 a.m. on Thursday. And Thursday, there will be a joint convention at 8:30. So joint convention between the House and Senate for joint convention.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Roll call.
Ms. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Speaker, 91 members present.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
That completes the regular order, Mr. Speaker.
Leader Cochran, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until 2 p.m. on Monday, April 6, 2026.
Without objection, the House stands in recess till 2 p.m. on Monday, April 6, 2026.